resources in the classroom is a great way to assess your students. Assessment is actually very hard to do without certain resources. Um, the resources available are endless. According to Wainwright in the Foundations for Teaching English Language Learners, our textbook, there is a such thing called a professor's resource room. It's more available to the higher grades, like high school and college. But this feature is for professors only. The resource room provides professors with one, tools for setting up class sections so students can self-register, a powerful control panel to quickly locate, assess, and comment on students' discussions, research postings, and activities. So this is a way for the students to answer questions and the teachers to assess them. So this is a magnificent resource to be using in the older classrooms. PowerPoint presentations for each chapter for the professor's use in class, and a professor cafe where professors can interact with and share resources with other professors. They can tell other professors how they assess their students. Sharing with other teachers is also a fantastic way to lead a classroom assessment. According to the Oxford Dictionary, a resource is an action or strategy which may be adopted in adverse circumstances. So what they're saying is a resource is a strategy or something you can physically use also to help to assess students on how well they're doing in a certain subject or a certain classroom, which this can be used in any regular subject or for lower level students or English language learners who are going to need more assessments because not only are they learning all of these subjects, but they're also learning to speak the language that the rest of us in the classroom are already speaking. So it's more challenging for them, and we need more give back in data, and that's why it's important to see all of your options of resources to use in the classroom. A couple I found were on teachingchannel.org. I found exit tickets, and I've seen that used a lot in the classroom, where you, at the end of the class, you would hand students a ticket, which could be an answer to a question or a more complicated set of problems to complete. You can use this as a pre-assessment to see what they already know, or you could use this resource as at the end of your lesson to see what students know before they leave the classroom. So you can use an entrance ticket almost to see what they know before you start, or an exit ticket. It's basically you give it to the student and they are to answer a series of questions, or maybe even just one question. You could ask just one question and they answer it about the lesson you have learned today, and they hand it in as they're walking out, and you see what they've learned. This is a way to see if they're learning what they're supposed to be, because if they're not, you can reteach or go back over in case the majority of the students are not understanding. So this would be a great resource. I've seen it used in a lot of classrooms. Note-taking is also a way to keep track of student progress. It's a way where they don't really necessarily know they're being assessed, but they do in the way they are assessed, in the way that they're taking notes, writing down everything they're learning in class, and at the end of the month or the semester or the quarter or the chapter, you can go back and read through their notes and see what they've learned. This way they don't really know they're being assessed, but they're getting that experience. I really liked the Four Corners resource. Four Corners was also found on teachingchannel.org. In Four Corners, you ask a question and students move to a labeled corner of the room in response. Once students are in their own corner, you can either use it to get a sense of the classroom's understanding or have the students stay in their corners for further discussion. While many teachers already use Four Corners for debates, by changing the type of question asked, you can make this activity about assessment. So when they move to the corner, you can say, okay, mentally you can think, this is what they know, this is what they know. I think this is a fantastic resource. Other resources to be used are the more typical things, such as pencil and paper, tests, or other things to be written on the whiteboard. So yeah, I think those are some great resources to be used when assessing your students.